So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Listings for luxury homes in 2024 were around 120 listings. In July of 2025, jumped to 350, and in January 2026. All right, folks, so smart money is not waiting for the crash. They're just adjusting before the actual pressure peaks. Usually the bankers will tell you everything is okay, nothing is happening, but in this video we'll get into Oakville. And if you don't know Oakville, it is a suburb of Toronto. It has beautiful places, luxurious places, and it's a good measurement of luxury. Because at one point, Oakville was, I would say, a nest of global money, and people were opening, they wanted peace, they wanted to sink their investments because it was almost a sure guaranteed thing. If you live in Oakville, you'll get all of the amazing perks. So we'll get into that, and we'll get into why this is actually happening. And I basically have the proof how numbers are changing since 2024, 5, and the early 2026. So getting into the video, the financial wall, ladies and gentlemen, is here. It's not around the corner, is literally here. So majority of mortgages signed during ultra low rates are renewing in 2025, late 2025, and the early 2026. On top of that, what I would like to add is a private lending sector that is definitely breathing extremely heavy, and it's a lot of uncertainty. So where theory meets real life, very important. Since people qualified, groceries up, insurance up, taxes up, childcare up, consumers that is much higher, investors already in negative cash flow. So about 81% of all the investors bought recently are underwater. So since people qualified, we are calculating it since the peak, right? Like since 2020, 2021, and 2022, because that was the last qualification that majority of these mortgages will have to re-qualify, ladies and gentlemen. And that obviously considers, to some, taking the CRA documents to their banks and re-qualify for the existing mortgage, which can result into hesitation, can result into problems, can result into fire sales, panic, and all sorts of things, right? Smart money reads liquidity. Who will buy from me? At what rate will they buy? With what confidence? This is something that smart money is always looking for, these type of questions. And this what happened, I would say, in the early 2000s all the way up to, I would say, COVID, right? Like we had a stretch of 2 decades where smart money reads, they want to read the game, they want to read the security, and they want to read how fast, what's the investment return. And Oakville was obviously, and not only Oakville, I would say majority of Canada was the place where it was almost certain that the return will be high, it will be safe, zero headache, let's just keep moving. The bigger, the better, the faster, and all of the above, right? So therefore, we have seen Oakville explode, and not only Oakville, we have seen all sorts of towns or cities around Toronto GTA, and I would also include British Columbia on the west end of Canada, has seen similarities like we see here in Toronto. By the way, I will do another video on British Columbia when the time comes, but I already had that request from a viewer and subscriber. So, Oakville luxury proof. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Listings for luxury homes in 2024 were around 120 listings. In July of 2025, jumped to 350, and in January 2026 went up to 480. That is crazy. That quadrupled. That's an explosion. Even though some people might say, well, it's not really a big deal, but let's answer a question. Who will buy these properties? Brings me to another point. And the point is, the average price went from $4.3 million in the luxury sectors all the way to 3.85, right? So we are seeing a steady declining graph and declining price on average overall. However, the listings quadrupled. So the smart money doesn't like that, right? So loss of security, prices softening, and the questions start arising. Who will buy? How much will they pay? And how fast can I actually liquidate, sell, get that money into my pocket so I can do other things, right? Which brings me to another point. So from 2024, the average price in that luxury sector was 45 days. 2025 went to 72 days, and in 2026, we're already seeing an average of 90 days on market, right? Yes, luxury sector is completely different than the average home, smaller home that you see in the marketplace, but it shows that it quadrupled on every single sector. So 2026 seems to be that breaking point even for the wealthy, even for the rich, right? Because everything else, as mentioned before, went up. It's not only your mortgage, it's not only your taxes, it's all of the above. Plus, if the wealthy smell or notice that the income, that the money cannot fetch, that the money cannot buy their investment or their time or their expansion, guess what? They pick up and leave. It shrinks, right? Or it moves somewhere else, right? All around the world, it moved to Oakville. Now it's trying to get out from Oakville. Very important, because switched lenders harder. So the trap of many owners, like it is harder to switch lenders nowadays. So people renew internally. They stay where they are because it increases their chance of the renewal, and it kind of freezes the market because nobody likes to lose unless they have to, even though we see the explosion in the actual listings. So what happens next? For a long time, the sellers were pushing that agenda of FOMO, fear of missing out, and everything was geared towards that particular seller. I'm the owner, I call the shots. Now, obviously, buyers are in a different basket and they get to choose. And on top of that, they're not pushed into the market whatsoever. I mean, like it's like the longer the wait and the more they wait, the better chance they get to land whatever they want, even in this luxurious sector. And it is a given that, you know, for years now, we've seen the prices decline. And check it out, like inventory is rising, right? So it shows that definitely that the mindset, the shift, the position has been shifted completely. All right, so why some exit early? So in my opinion, I don't think that people are exiting early. I think some people are exiting because they finally see that the recovery is not around the corner, right? They waited 2024, nothing happened. 2025, nothing happened. So 2026, guess what? It either I'm going to exit or I might not exit for years. And investment or people don't like that. Like they don't like that at all. Doesn't matter, luxury sector or not, but people don't like it. So you never wait for headlines, because as soon as headlines start, it's game over, right? You never wait for panic sell. As soon as that starts, like they'll take your shirt, right, from your back. And then obviously the crowd reaction, right? You know, some of our channels, we're not, you know, the favorite channels because obviously, you know, the algorithm is not pushing it, nobody's pushing it, Only you guys that like, share, and subscribe are helping us, and I want to thank you. But this is what it is. I mean, and this is the truth. These are the numbers. I'm not making this up, right? So maybe it stabilizes later at one point. Yes, it will stabilize. When, at what cost, is each individual's case. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has a different, I would say, tolerance to pain, to financial pain, mental stability, and all of the above. We don't know how much your neighbors owe or what they can do. Do they have wealthy parents? Do they have a business that thrives even in downtimes? Like those are, it's a combination of everything. But one thing is for sure, people are slowly waking up and they're starting to realize that 2026 is not the year that real estate will boom or bounce back. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.